All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. We're going to talk about it live with Frank and Manny. How you doing this morning, there, Frank?
Hey, brother. Good morning. Good morning.
All right, brother. Yeah, good to see you all, and thank you all for joining us here this morning. As we got a lot to talk about, a lot's happened over the weekend. It feels like it's barely. I know it's barely been a week, but golly, man, it feels like I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, I know, bro. Yeah.
Well, you've been pretty busy, right?
Yeah, I've been kind of crazy. I think in there somewhere I had a couple of out of town trips, man. It just seems like it's just a flurry of activity.
Yeah, and for all those who've been watching us faithfully, we really appreciate your faithfulness and whatnot. But if you don't know by now, Frank is running for office. He's running as an independent for District 23 here in Texas, right?
Yeah, I threw my name in the hat. It was actually a declaration of intent, which I had to file before December 13. For you techno buffs out there that want to know, so immediately after the primary, Manny, the primary election is March 1st. Right now, early voting is going on. But on March 2nd, I will start collecting signatures of persons who are registered to vote in the district but did not vote in either the Republican or Democrat primary.
Primary, okay.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
primary. So there's been a couple of situations there. I know you were getting some texts and calls from guys
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, where's Frank on the ballot?" Heard about some other places. One guy would jokingly say he almost got arrested because he thought it was something criminal going on about my name not being on the ballot. But look, Manny, folks are hungry for change. It's not just about this district. It's across the nation.
Right.
Across the nation, Americans have awakened, and they know that a lot of the incumbents, a lot of the party elitists, the so-called leaders, are pandering, lying, hypocrites. A lot of them, and so there is a wave taking place. You want to call it a red wave? Well, I'll call it the real red wave.
Yeah.
Where rhino red candidates are going to get booted out because real conservative, patriotic Americans are going to get into office, bro, because people have had it. They're tired of the games of pandering, and our nation is in trouble.
Yeah.
And these people, all they're thinking about is getting rich. I'm just talking about the conservative side, bro.
Right.
I mean, it's not even an afterthought here about what the socialists are doing to our country. How can anybody continue voting, for Nancy Pelosi, Biden puppets is beyond me. But there's a cancer within the Republican Party, and a lot of patriotic Americans are tired. They're waking up, and they're going to boot him out. And one of those is our very own here, Lulac puppet, Soros GOP infiltrator, Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, I saw your video that you posted on your U.S. Frank Lopez U.S. Border Patriot page, right? Where you connect those two,
Yeah, we've been doing the research on this guy. I mean, as soon as he came on the scene during the 2020 primary, that would have been early 2019.
Right.
We started looking at who this guy was, his ties to Marco Rubio out of Florida, neocon, establishment, swamp buggy. Anyways, we started looking at him, started looking at his affiliates. We knew there was something about this guy. And sure enough, lately, when people realized who he is, what he stands for, Manny, San Antonio, Bexar County folks have come out and said, yeah, we saw this guy come on the scene. We looked at him. We looked at those surrounding him, that they hung out with Lulac. They hung out with Democrats.
Right.
And we knew he was a plant. And so
Right.
my question naturally is, well, why did you vote for him?
Yeah.
And it's because Bexar County. Why did you support him? Because Bexar County wants to be the seat of power.
Yeah.
There's several congressional districts that the hinge point there is Bexar County. And so for the Unity Party, the elitist, the establishment in Bexar County want to keep control. And so they play their games, their political games, at the expense of the will of the people, at the expense of the security and the sovereignty of America. They play their games out of Bexar County, bro. And so there's going to be a lot of time and effort invested into Bexar County. There's already a network of people that have a lot to say, a lot to talk about as to what goes on behind the scenes of Bexar County. And that's why, for instance, Jacinto Chinto Martinez is running for Bexar County chairman in the Republican Party.
Right.
You need to get out behind that guy, because we need somebody to go in there, kick some butt, and clean the house, bro.
Yeah.
Because that county affects a lot of districts. It affects South Texas, West
Right.
Texas in a very significant way. And so we've got these corrupt establishment politicians that are using Bexar County, the influence. It's the biggest city in the
Yeah.
region, one of the fastest growing in the country.
Right.
And so they're using that to get into office globalists,
Right.
and liberal
Yeah.
infiltrators.
And I was gonna say, and that I think that has a lot to do with that redistricting that they did as well.
Well, actually, it wasn't affected, bro. That took out place out in the Houston area, but not Bexar County. But I tell you what, they've been at the core of this for years,
Right.
And of course, us, working, we've been involved shift work, working, on the front lines over
Right.
here. Specifically for me, when I retired and got involved in politics, helping Raul Reyes, who was a congressional candidate at that
Right.
time in 23.
Who's now running for
Who's now
Senate
running-
in
yeah.
24, right?
Yeah, Senate District 24. So we started uncovering a lot of this stuff, folks. And there's more to come about Tony Gonzalez. You guys stay tuned. That's just the tip of the iceberg as to what we're finding out about this guy. And so, people will say, well, why are you so hard on Tony? Because he said he was a conservative.
Right.
He lied to a lot of people.
He sure did.
He
Yep.
said he was going to fight the socialists. He lied to a lot of people.
Yep.
He said he would secure America. He lied to a lot of people because he's doing exactly the
And,
opposite. of all
and he
that.
said he would support Trump 100%, and he lied.
And he lied about that
and
as
he
well,
lied,
bro.
right.
And so right off the bat, with one of his first votes in Congress, aside from the little, parliamentary stuff they got to do there, but the first significant vote, he voted against the Electoral College results that Arizona and Pennsylvania would have sent it back to the states, allowed the duly elected representatives, the state legislature, the representatives of the people in Arizona and Pennsylvania to look at what had transpired with their Electoral College, voting process.
Right.
He denied him that right, bro. He denied him that right, and now we're finding out, as is the case, with all this forensic audits taking place
Right.
and moves by state legislatures, such as in Wisconsin, to dig down into what transpired.
Right.
That's where it all started with this guy, and actually even before then.
And what's amazing is that electoral college battle or fight, is what the Democrats call to arms, right? I mean, they're always trying to vote to get rid of the electoral college. They're trying to always try to do something with the electoral college to try to prevent conservatives from voting. And I just want to point out real quick, for those who just joined us, you're running as an independent, and you've taken quite a bit of criticism from the Republican, establishment Republican Party, but you've also, I was on the road with you a few days ago, and I was really amazed to see how many Republicans are coming up and supporting you, and supporting your run. The true Republicans.
They've awakened, Manny. That's why I say it's not a woke movement that's taking place. It's an awakening within the Republican Party. They know that there's a danger within the party. It's bad enough we got to fight all these external, threats.
Right.
But we have infiltrators, and people are waking up, and they're upset, they're angry, they're frustrated. But it's more than that. It's a call to action. It's a call to get involved. And so that's why, for instance, in the State Republican Executive Committee, there were a lot of people that resigned from that to get into office because they saw the caliber, the character of the people that were either incumbents or were thinking of running, and they said, heck no.
Right.
The only way this is going to change is if, I get into the race, and that's exactly the process that I went through. And so, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of awakened Republicans who realize that, look, it's no longer about party. It is about principle. It's about patriotism. It's about preservation of our union, of our republic. And so now this election is very important. Kevin McCarthy, the minority leader, has big dreams. Is drooling at the jowls here to jump in as the majority leader.
Right.
But there is a contingent group of congressmen that are going to oppose that because Kevin McCarthy is the most liberal Republican in Congress.
And Gonzalez is not too far behind him.
He's the second most liberal as far as the voting record on the ideological spectrum.
Right.
They're the two most liberal voters, congressmen voting, with Nancy Pelosi and her crowd. Exactly what he said he was going to go fight. And so anyways, Kevin McCarthy's running around thinking he's going to be the majority leader.
Right.
And so he's cultivating, a crop of new recruits in South Texas, specifically in Texas, South Texas. And so, folks, I'll just tell you point blank, anybody that is endorsed by Kevin McCarthy, endorsed by Tony Gonzalez, or endorsed by Abbott, need to run as far away as you can from those candidates.
And don't forget endorsed by Will Hurd as well. Will Hurd is a big time rhino as
Yes.
well. Tony Gonzalez is basically his protege and so what's amazing to me, Frank. You talked about earlier that you said earlier that it should be about principle. And it should be. You're exactly right. But what's amazing to me also, Frank, is that I've met people who claim to be Republican,
Yeah.
and then tell me why I regret voting for Tony Gonzalez. I really didn't know too much about this guy. But then what?
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to research people.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
You look at his voting record, where this guy came from. The first thing that threw me off and any support for him, was that he jumped districts.
Yeah.
Right. He abandoned his district. I forget what district it originally
35.
was. 35. He after he made a speech that he was never going to leave them. He was never going to abandon them. He was going to support them because that's where he's from.
His family, his friends,
his family, everybody. As soon as he heard Will Hurd was out of the race, boom, he comes over to District 23, raises a whole bunch of money, right, and then gets in, and the first thing he does is betray President Trump and the January 6th Commission and the American people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are watching us not out of the state of Texas. And you may be wondering, look, how is this going to affect me? We got people in California, we got people in a lot of other places that are watching us. Right now, we really appreciate that you all joining us. But what happens in Texas affects the rest of the United States. And even in this district, District 23 is one of the largest districts in the state of Texas, and we have a big time, huge border crisis that is happening here. Over this past weekend, there was over 3,500 illegal aliens that came through this area alone.
Crazy.
Crazy. Over 121 different countries in the last couple of weeks, and it's amazing to me that people continue to turn a blind eye. And it's amazing to me we have people who claim to be conservative Republicans that are furthering illegal immigration, such as Tony Gonzalez, who petitioned the Biden administration to use Laughlin Air Force Base, who is in bed with the NGOs, right? And now we see this connection that he has with Soros, and Soros is all over the place.
Yeah.
With this illegal immigration.
Yeah, and that connection was there as soon as we found out. Bro, he was running around with LULAC. He was hanging out with LULAC leaders in San Antonio. There's pictures of him in uniform. Probably working out of Lackland or something. Even though he was in the Navy, there's a lot of cross pollination. Training, etc. Right. There's a Navy presence in the interior of the country as well. But anyways, he was at sit downs. With LULAC leadership in uniform, bro. And there's several other pictures. And so we sounded the alarm. I mean, what can you do, bro? What can you do?
And LULAC is basically a socialist organization.
And that's the connection with Soros, because LULAC gets money from the Open Society Foundation.
Wow.
Open Society Foundation, which is the George Soros organization. It's his apparatus for pushing his agenda, his evil agenda, in the world, and even right here in Bexar County, as in Austin and other places, he funded the campaign runs for several people that were running for district attorney. So why is that significant, Manny? And that's because they decide who gets prosecuted. What's going to take place as far as who's going to get into that pipeline, etc. They can indict a lot of people. It's just what happened in Austin, where 19 police officers were indicted, by the district attorney out there. Even the chief of police is saying, I hope they're going to be, exonerated here.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That's exactly what Soros wanted, was his anti-God, anti-law, anti-America, agenda. Yeah. To get implemented, and he reached way down into district attorney offices. This morning there was an exchange on Facebook where one person said one thing and another person comes in and gives a very detailed explanation of why it is significant that Tony Gonzalez is aligned in an organization that is full of a liberal, radical liberal like Joaquin Castro, or Republicans that are, in essence, rhinos. They voted for the January 6th commission. They voted against the Electoral College objection led by Senator Cruz and Paul Gosar out of Arizona. And it's significant. People are connecting the dots. And look, the more dots we're uncovering, the more connecting that's going on, man. It's giving you a clearer picture that we have a dangerous person in a congressional seat, 823 miles of border. Look at everything he has done to expedite and facilitate the invasion into our country, man. Yeah. That's why we need to fire Tony.
Yep. Yeah, you're exactly right. And and all you got to do is like you say all the time is follow the money. You follow the money, and you see where it is, and you see all these connections. Tony Gonzalez is his mother has a lot to do with LULAC as well,
Yeah,
right?
there's a video out there. She was recruiting for LULAC. She was going through the "Welcome to LULAC. These are the wonderful things that we do for you."
Right.
But the anecdotal information, and that's why I'm going to be spending more time in San Antonio, talking to these people, getting more background information exactly as to the extent, the high depth, width, breadth, of his connections in San Antonio to the establishment swamp. There's a lot of folks. I mean, the other day, a candidate out of Congressional District 28, Sandra Whitten, went and posted and went in front of the elections office there in San Antonio because something took place there in 2020. We saw it in the Raul Reyes for Congress election. We
Right.
saw that, bro. A lot of people have commented on that. And this not only happened in Burke County, it happened across the country as audits are finding out, investigations are finding out. Barrett County needs to be looked at, and that's why I'm going to be spending a lot of time there. If folks are uncomfortable right now with what we're finding out, and it's all sourced. I mean, I'm not making any of this up, bro. It's
Yeah.
all sourced. And of course, whenever you start talking to folks and they're telling you this and they're telling you that, well, my natural question is, okay, source it. What? Unlike Tony Gonzalez, who runs on lies,
Yeah.
Fabricates stuff, never proves it, even when he's asked to prove it, never proves any of it.
It never takes questions about it.
Never takes questions about it. I've talked to different people, and they all know he doesn't have open forum town halls within the district. He hasn't done that. Everything is by invitation or very spontaneous. He'll show up at a livestock show or rodeo, whatever, very spontaneously. There's no time for people to react. Get down there, and as soon as March 2nd rolls around, bro, I'm chomping at the bit to get into a debate with Tony Gonzalez.
Oh man, that I would love that. I would even like to invite him on the program. Have you two?
Yeah, you can sit right here,
Yeah,
bro.
you sit right here. You can talk to us about the things that he's done or hasn't done. In my opinion, and I'll give him a fair shot. But his actions so far, in my opinion, have shown that he's a traitor to our state. He's a traitor to our nation, and I'm embarrassed that he actually wore the naval uniform. There's not too many people who go out there and use fake border patrol agents in their TV ads, and try to slam and criticize other people like Raul Reyes, who in my opinion is a true conservative.
Yeah.
Who should have won. He's running for Senate District 24 now. But I'm encouraging you people, that are watching and eligible to vote here in Texas to get behind, a man like Frank Lopez, not just because he's my friend, but because I know that he's a true conservative. He's running as independent, and I truly appreciate what you're doing, brother.
Yeah, bro. And so that's kind of a little bit of a segue there. But you mentioned the Border Patrol. Look, man, he used a fake agent. Lately, folks have been asking about why did the Border Patrol Council endorse Tony Gonzalez? Look, the Border Patrol Council, it has chapters, you could say, throughout the country in each of the sectors. But the national leadership, the president is a guy named Brandon Judd. He comes out on newspapers and TV and stuff like that. That's one person. He has his executive council. His endorsement does not necessarily mean that the boots on the ground pounders, the agent, men and women in green who bleed red for this country, necessarily endorse those, agree with those endorsements.
Right.
And we've heard it.
Oh, yeah.
We've heard it. I go through checkpoints. I talk to these guys. As soon as I let them know I'm Mean Green 230, which is our class, there's a natural affinity there. And so that's why this endorsement by the council of this guy who used an impersonator for his run as a candidate in 2020, bro, it makes it specifically more egregious that the council would endorse a guy who violates our honor, violates our integrity. And that incident, bro, was actually investigated by Customs and Border Protection.
It's amazing. I was in the patrol still at that time. I've been retired on a year already, going on a year here in a few days. And I remember when that ad came out. and I looked at and I saw there was a fake agent. We all spotted it. I
We
was
all spotted it,
yeah,
bro.
we all
The
spotted it right
pants
away.
didn't match.
Yeah,
It didn't.
like this guy's not a real agent, man. Who is this guy? And I'll tell you what. I mean, we saw it. In the office that I was working in, we have news televisions all over the place, and we saw that ad come up, and all of us were appalled,
Yep.
bro. That he doesn't have the courage to come and talk to agents personally. But he comes in because you have to get permission, folks, to use agents and ads. You have to get permission from the United States Border Patrol. He threw an ad, either a fake agent up there, and it was appalling. Agents were upset, and this fake agent was talking about security in the border, and then Tony Gonzalez still ran with it. Those ads still kept going until he got word that they were probably going to investigate it, which they did. But I've talked with a lot of agents since then, and simply because of the fact that he has never really ever come and talked to agents personally.
Yeah.
And then he uses a fake agent, right? And then claims to know about border security. He's lost a lot of support from the agents. I think I don't even think I've talked to an agent that supports this guy.
Yeah, bro. The other day we were going through the Comstock checkpoint, going out to grab some delicious food there at the J&P
Man.
Bar and Grill in Comstock. Anyways, yeah. Mentioned, hey, I'm running for office against Tony Gonzalez, and some dudes another agent's in the back. Over here, great, he's a backstabber. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Just like that, man.
Yeah, and that's the way it's been. That's the way it's been for every agent I've talked to. When we talk about Tony Gonzalez, I look at they've even sent me text messages and emails that this guy's a traitor. So my point is that look, even though Brandon Judd endorsed this guy, he doesn't speak for the whole Border Patrol.
Exactly.
The Border Patrol Council never ever spoke for the entire Border Patrol.
Yeah, bro. And I remember when I was an agent, I was a union member. There were times, bro, when the union membership, even at the local level, was upset with the local union leadership because of the decisions that we're making. I mean, honestly, doing some things, working out some agreements, with management that would totally set off the members, the ground pounders, because they were making a decision based on their needs, their opinion, their perspective, without taking into account the will of the corporate body of agents, bro.
Right.
And so exactly right. And look, also another thing you need to look at, the union endorsements. They endorsed Henry Cuellar, a few years ago, a Democrat.
Yeah.
In Laredo. They endorsed Abbott, and then you got these commercials where Abbott and Brandon Judd are talking about everything he's done. Look, bro, Abbott's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's sinking. Like I said, people have awakened.
Yeah.
And he's in trouble. He knows it. And that's why we've got this field of candidates, Alan West and others, Huffines and Chap Prather,
right,
that have been out there. But he knows he's in trouble. And so this council endorses, I hate to put it this way, for the most part, folks, they're jacked up endorsements.
Yeah.
And so you need to look at, I've said, you need to look at who Tony Gonzalez, Kevin McCarthy is endorsing. And another one would be the council.
Right. Yeah, and just don't take our word for it. Go out there and look for yourself and resource these things. Always vet your candidate as well. Vet Frank. We're in order to be in a position like that, you have to be open. To criticism. You have to be open to be being vetted and open to questions.
Yeah, brother. I mean that's something honestly that I look forward to, Manny. You know me, bro. We worked together for years and years. What you see is what you get. You're gonna get honest conversation back and forth, and as a representative, God willing, a lot of hard work, the will of the people, the favor of the people. I would get into that position. I would spend more time on the ground, as much time on the ground as possible, visiting with people.
Yeah.
Going to the pueblitos, to the barrios, going to the neighborhoods, to the ranches, but spending time where people live and breathe and are trying to raise families in the border regions.
Right.
And not just going to these elitist gatherings with a hand stretched out for more money.
Yeah.
Instead it needs to be, a handshake, reaching out in friendship. We're Texans here. We're neighbors. Yeah. This is our country. And so anyways, hey, that's up to the people and that's up to the will of God.
Right.
All I can do is work hard.
Yeah. And so we always encourage people in this program to go and vet your candidates. get and if you find the candidate you want to get back behind him or her, and support them. Just if not going on knocking on doors, handing out information, or just simply making some phone calls or sending donations. Real quick, Frank, you talked about in your video there earlier this connection between Tony Gonzalez and,
Oh, yeah.
and George Soros, but there's also this connection with China you're talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, well, what they're doing, bro, is supposedly what it says is that we're here to monitor China's this interparliamentary alliance in China.
Right.
That's what we're referring to, IPAC. And if you could throw that picture up, man, so folks can see that. And so you can go look at it yourself. I just researched, simple research, came across this. But the thing that grabbed me about this, is that Tony Gonzalez, as soon as I saw he's a member, well, hey, let's dig in, let's see what it's about. But the funding source on that is George Soros' Open Society Foundation. It's directly linked to that organization. They proudly say it. We're proud to be, funded, grateful, whatever, by the Open Society Foundation. You go look at who is the Open Society Foundation. It's the creation of George Soros. And in that picture that you got there, look right off the bat, Joaquin Castro, man, extreme liberal, socialist Democrat out of guess where? Bexar County, San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other folks. There's Democrats, but when you look at the Republicans, one of them that pops out is Anthony Gonzalez out of Ohio, who is not running for office because President Trump singled him out as somebody that he was going to work to get out of office because he's one of the ones that voted to impeach Trump as well. And the other Republicans either voted to impeach Trump, or they voted for the January 6th commission, or they voted against the Electoral College, the will of the people on January 6th.
Wow.
And so that's who Tony Gonzalez is hanging around right there. It's a gallery there of people, Manny, that no self-respecting conservative is gonna hang out, gonna be anywhere in the room with these people.
Wow.
Especially on a council, on a group that is founded by George Soros.
It's amazing to me, brother, that how this guy's hand is in everything. We can't.
There's more to come, brother.
Yeah, we can't put it past him either with moving people over to the great state of Texas either to vote blue. I mean, we've known when he was sending people to riots and he was paying for transportation, paying people to cause demonstrations, and whatnot. We just can't put it past this guy. Yeah. This guy, in my opinion, is pure evil, and it's sad to say that he has so many connections, that so many people. What's even worse, that so many people are willing to be connected with this guy, even so-called conservative Republicans.
Yeah, bro, there needs to be more research. Look, plain and simple, man, plain and simple. People need to research. That's why it's easy, Manny, for these guys to tell you one thing and then be doing something entirely different.
Right.
People need to spend some time researching. Don't walk away with that starstruck, after effect of meeting somebody who's in the limelight, somebody who's got some kind of a personality, popularity going on.
Yeah.
Don't walk away and be the hand sniffer. Oh, he shook my hand kind of thing. I'm never gonna wash my hand. Look, these are people elected by you.
Yeah.
Elected by you to represent you, and they're supposed to be accountable to you. They're supposed to be transparent in their actions to you.
Right.
And so Tony Gonzalez runs around hiding. Why? Because he's involved in very questionable activities.
Yeah.
People know this, bro. Yeah. People know this, and there's going to be more to come.
And when Governor Abbott came down here and announced that he was going to be building the wall, which turned out to be a fence, I was pretty saddened to hear that he only took a question from a certain select few people, which kind of got me a little bit angry. We've talked with people. We've talked with the majority of the candidates. Alan West, who I respect very much. Don Huffines, we met with him. I haven't talked with Prather, but I understand that he's always willing to take questions as well. But the one I haven't been really impressed with, of course, is Abbott. In my opinion, he's not securing the border down here in Texas. He sent the National Guard down here, and folks. We've been getting reports, a lot of reports, and we're looking at the overall climate of not only the Border Patrol. Border Patrol agents are very frustrated because they're not out in the field. They're processing. Aliens are coming through here, legal aliens, not migrants, not illegal migrants, or what's that new
undocumented
term?
citizens,
Undocumented citizens,
undocumented non-citizens.
Yeah, I mean, folks, they're illegal aliens, right? And they're coming through here in great numbers. Over 121 countries in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks have come through Del Rio sector alone. Over
It's crazy, man.
3,500 over the weekend. And then we're getting a report. I don't know if you saw that report out of Ajo where that woman, illegal alien, left her infant child and out in the brush. It was almost run over by an ATV, Border Patrol ATV unit. They rescued the child. Sadly, state police and sheriffs wouldn't charge the woman with child endangerment, and they ended up giving the child. They had to end up giving the child back to the mother.
Yeah, and so that does point to something, Manny. There's a reason that we started holding these rallies last year. As soon as Biden came, and of course other folks have been involved in. There's a body of people out there that have been involved in the anti-human trafficking, anti-sex trafficking arena for many years.
Right.
Man, many years. Of course, we did our part in a sense from the Border Patrol interdiction aspect
Right.
of it, and then of course there's IHH, HSI, etc. But there's people that non-government citizens, non-government people from around the world that have been involved in this activity of trying to deter, prevent, stop human trafficking, sex trafficking. But anyways, we started holding rallies because we knew that Biden's green light was going to bring a flood wave of people
Right.
into our country, and then that wave of people would be an opportunity for sickles, for pedophiles, for traffickers,
Right.
for criminals to thrive and exploit the movement of women, children, and men, bro.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're saying. And so there's another aspect to this. Why we need to be concerned about this, tidal wave of people coming into our country, Manny. What person leaves their child out in the brush, in
Yeah.
the desert? What person turns their child over to criminals? Look, you can talk about desperation, you can talk about the human need and stuff. The most basic instinct is to protect life, protect your own life, protect other life. And as a parent, bro, I would give every organ in my body for my children. I would die for my children and my family. So that should. Why do I say that? Because it should concern you about the persons that are coming into our country, the perspective, the worldview, their ideology.
Right.
America is unique for a reason, and it's our principles and our values.
You're exactly right. And you're talking about that. Back a while back, we as Border Patrol agents, we were able to play some part in the interdiction, but there was also an investigative part that Border Patrol agents would do when we would suspect that this is a fraudulent family has come over. Folks, they're not investigating anybody anymore in regards to maybe if there's like a really clear picture that this is a fraudulent family.
Yes.
For the majority of these folks that are coming across, they're not being investigated,
No.
and they're being released as family units, and so they're finding abandoned children all over the place. And then these smuggling cases that are coming across, people asked us the other day when we were over there in Somerset, Texas, if these smugglers are being prosecuted. Well, here's what happens, folks. These illegal aliens come over. The coyotes put them in cars. It's usually an illegal alien driver, right? They just tell them where to go. The keys are waiting for them on this side, wherever the designated point to grab the keys. And usually it's just a whole illegal alien load in the vehicle. So when they get pulled over or they crash because now they're trying to flee. They don't get prosecuted, folks. It's what's called the majority of them are what's called paper cased, where they just maybe take the car if the car is drivable, and then the rest of them get released. Maybe if it's a USC driver, U.S. citizen, maybe they'll get prosecuted unless it's a minor. For the most part, if it's a minor, they usually get released, folks. But then you see all these reports, and God bless our DPS troopers, God bless our law enforcement, and you see a lot of these reports that DPS, deter smuggling case or smuggling load, right, or stop smuggling, event, and then they turn them over to Border Patrol, and then they get released.
Yep.
They get paper case and released. And at the same time, these guys are putting these smugglers are putting our DPS troopers in danger, our law enforcement in danger, because we get reports that I think there's like 4 or 5 crashes over this past week here in our area alone. because they're trying to flee from DPS.
Yeah, and you know, a side issue to that, or really actually, you know, primary issue to that is a lot of our children, Texans, Americans, you know, and even out of towners, out of state children, young people. I say children, but you know, there's somebody's child. Young people are coming into the area, Manny, because they've been enticed through
Yeah.
social media, recruited to come and be a driver,
Yeah.
to come and you know be a guide or be a part of a scout vehicle, you know, to get involved in this criminal activity, and so that also has something to do with you know This is the land of opportunity, yes, but and Texas children have opportunity to go to school and get educated, etc. But there's also the need, bro, for for jobs, for a
Right.
viable future, a viable career for our young people. And so, what does it say about the state of our state and the state of our union and the state of our leadership when it's more enticing, bro, to be a criminal
Yeah.
than to be a law-abiding citizen?
Yeah.
I mean, that also says something about the state of our society.
Right. When you see it, when I drive around town, in our little community of Del Rio, and I was in San Antonio over this past week with my kids. I've never seen so many now hiring signs in my life. And it's sad, brother, because there's so many businesses willing to hire, but you had Biden say not too long ago that maybe they should pay them as much as the government is paying them, and maybe they would work for you. But the reality, and then now you have a lot of these young people that are smuggling, that are getting involved in cartel business and whatnot, and it's sad to say, And then I want to go back kind of to the climate of the Border Patrol right now. Folks, I've never seen the morale this bad. In my whole life, Frank and I, we served as Border Patrol chaplains, not only agents, but we served as Border Patrol chaplains for more than 20 years in the United States Border Patrol. And we talked to a lot of agents, and even now that I'm retired, I still get calls from agents. Right, they want to talk, what's going on, and they want to let me know about how things are going in the Border Patrol, and the morale is terrible.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and along with that morale, bro, there's a defiance. So when you push people to the edge, bro, it's gonna be fight or flight.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people would say freeze, but I tell you, agents aren't gonna freeze.
Yeah,
They're gonna
yeah.
do
Oh,
something,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
And so part of what's transpiring, bro, is this natural, in the heart, God-given rebellion against tyranny,
Right.
and against hypocrisy, and against liars and connivers. And so that what you're seeing there is the breaking point. The politicians and the bureaucrats like to talk about, this is not sustainable as they do nothing, but they'll try to evoke feelings of commitment to the job, play on their sense of patriotism, even their oath to the Constitution. And so within ages, bro, there comes a point, and within any honest law-abiding person, there comes a point when you just have had so much of the hypocrisy, so much of the lies, you just can't stand it anymore. So you have this outburst, and so
Right.
that's one thing. And I know you're keying up the video here, but so that's what is abhorrent to Border Patrol agents who know the truth and can spot a liar a mile away.
Yeah.
They know that Tony Gonzalez is a pandering liar. He's a hypocrite, and he is trying to wrap himself up in the Border Patrol flag, bro.
Right.
And all that's doing is just pushing people further away because he's a wannabe.
Right.
He's Tony the wannabe agent. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's comical. It's comical, it's pathetic. And people that still, buy into that lie, that it says something about look, sharpen up your critical thinking skills. Right. Why is it that the union endorsed this guy? I mean, think about it. If he's doing such a terrible job on the border, he's flying illegal aliens out of Lofton Air Force Base. He wants to be able 4 mega processing centers. He's in bed with the non-government organizations. He's hanging out with Democrats everywhere he goes.
Right.
You know, he doesn't even visit his constituents, the Republicans. You know, because he's a Republican.
Yeah.
He doesn't even go to
Yeah. You can probably talk to a lot of the GOP chairs along the border, bro, and see if
I've heard that over and over again. He'll go to the friendly ones, but he's not going to go anywhere that people are going to ask hard questions.
Right.
It's a head fake.
Right.
What he's doing is look over here, look at the shiny ball, but don't look at my hand. What it's doing over here.
Right.
And so down here, you need to wake up.
Yeah.
Right now, primary season. Hey, don't vote for the guy.
Yeah.
You don't like him. You don't like any of the candidates. You like a candidate, but just don't vote for the guy. Send him a message. We will remember in November. We're gonna fire your butt, Tony Gonzalez.
Right, and you should. You know, we should. You know, a few weeks ago, Ortiz and Raul Ortiz and Mayorkas were in Laredo, right, and at a muster, and it's become pretty infamous right now. This video. You know, I'm going to play a different video, but the video where agents started, you know, talking to Ortiz and asking him questions, and then this real tense exchange happened. You know, where basically Ortiz started criticizing, you know, the agents, and it became this argument, which, in my opinion, a chief is never supposed to do, right? You know, agents were upset, but then him and Mayorkas went and had this little roundtable discussion about their experience along the border, and even that kind of disgusted me, man. The way this was presented, and if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna play just a little clip of it real quick, and then we'll discuss it. Let me go ahead and put it up, and then I'll cue it.
A responsibility I have to address it, and we certainly met when we got back with a whole team about how we were going to address the challenges. I really appreciated the openness that with which the agents expressed their views. A couple guys might have expressed them what I thought was unprofessionally, which was surprising to me because it's something I've never seen in the Border Patrol. In my, what is it now, 8 years of exposure, person-to-person exposure. But the substance of what was communicated really called for action, and we're jumping on it, but we've got a lot of work to do.
Now, in my opinion, you can say this little call for action that he said can go one or two ways. Either he wants to address the morale issue, or he wants to go after those guys, you know, who leaked the video.
Both.
Yeah, or you know, in my opinion, this is such arrogance, bro. This is ridiculous, man. Because agents should be allowed to speak their mind, brother. They should be allowed to speak their mind when they're frustrated, when their morale is this low. They can't be this blind. Actually, they can be, you know, this blind to see that there's this morale is at an all-time low. Agents are frustrated. They're not patrolling. They're releasing everybody. And then at the same time, you have Ortiz going and trying to back up this guy, Mayorkas, who's made a career, him and Magnus have made a career out of hating the patrol, but both of our sanctuary cities. They don't support our nation. They don't support our law enforcement. And then to see a uniformed Border Patrol agent basically backing them is ridiculous. And it's sad, you know, and I'm very, very disappointed because I've known Ortiz for many years. I even consider him a friend, and it's really hard for me to say. If I said it over and over again, it's hard for me to say this. I am completely disappointed in his leadership.
Yeah, bro. You know, look, man. There's so many layers to this issue. One of those things is that a large number of attorney generals from around the country. One person said 40. If that's the case, that would be pretty significant. That 90%, 40 something, 90% of our attorney generals have called for that man's impeachment.
Wow.
So as always, I mean, that's a text here that I'm reading off the text. But even if you just have 10, that's significant. If you have,
right.
20, that's significant. But, and why is it? Because, look, at some point, you would not allow this to happen into your house.
No.
You would not allow unchecked, flow of people to just come into your house and to occupy every square inch of your residence, especially when you did not invite them.
Right.
When you did not invite them and they've come into your house to take of the things that you earned through your hard-earned labor.
Right.
Through your work, bro. Look, we want to be good neighbors. We help out good neighbors all the time. America is known to help out its neighbors.
Yeah.
But there's, something to be said about, look, when we have problems in our country, Manny, under tyrannical rule of the king, the people took matters into their own hands.
Right.
I don't know how many times I had conversations with illegal aliens. As I was, either waiting for more to come across, or we're transporting them to the station, whatever. Why don't you fix your country? Why don't you fix your country? That is the role and the duty and the responsibility of the citizen of any hamlet, town, community, ejido, little ranch,
Right.
pueblo, country. Fix your problems. Fix your problems. I mean, yeah, this is America. This is our home. We are a nation of immigrants, yes. But there's a whole bunch of natural born Americans now that are saying, hey, this is our home, man.
Right.
And don't take advantage of our hospitality,
Right.
of our goodness. It's wrong to do that. It's sin to do that.
Yeah.
And so this guy Mayorkas, look, he was the head of Citizenship and Immigration Services. And so their mental, attitude, their outlook, their worldview is to help people.
Basically amnesty.
Amnesty.
Yeah.
And it's a service-oriented, agency. And so they see the people coming in as clients.
Right.
And they want to expedite the process. And
Well, he himself said that he wasn't concerned about border security, except he's more concerned about the families that were ripped, apart by President Trump, which is ridiculous. And the
They're ideologues.
They're ideologues. And the thing that gets me upset as well is watching these two, and then going to the sectors and trying to defend these policies. Yeah. Policies should never override or supersede the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution supports the defense of our country, the prevention of illegal immigration. And so when is it? And I'm getting upset because when does it become a declaration when does somebody become a declared enemy of the Constitution? When does it happen? What gets me so upset is he's in charge of CBP. You have Magnus in charge of DHS, and you got a chief.
Vice versa.
Vice versa. And you got a chief that should know a lot better. And they should be in front of Congress every single day, pleading to defend and deport these illegal aliens that are coming across every single day by the thousands, folks, by the thousands, and then being dispersed. And what's sad, Frank, as well, is that apparently I understand it was also Chief Ortiz's idea to use Laughlin Air Force Base as well to further.
He said in a civic center meeting, and it's recorded out there. We got the footage of that. Actually, I asked him the question, bro. To do something about that, and he said, "Hey, look, I don't want to give all the credit to Tony Gonzalez here. I'm the one that went and asked." He said that, bro.
Wow.
Chief Ortiz said, "I'm the one that went and asked, for that, asked Tony Gonzalez to do that." So it was Chief Ortiz that asked Tony Gonzalez to go to the Department of Defense to ask that our landing strips are be used to fly illegal aliens into the heartland of America.
And Gonzalez could have said no.
I would have said no, bro. Yeah. Any American who's thinking with a grain of freaking thought in their head would have said no.
Yeah.
Look, either let's push them back so they don't come in to begin with, or when they come in, we're gonna immediately return them because they just made an illegal entry. It's right there, and so something like that, bro. The books are the laws are in the books. It should not be executive fiat. It should not be executive order. The laws are in the books, and so they need to be insulated. Our law enforcers, to execute the laws faithfully, justly, in accordance with the Constitution. Right. I'm not talking about some of these problem children, but what I'm saying is they need to be insulated from this kind of political meddling that is ruining and destroying our country, man. And Alejandro Mayorkas here is an ideologue. I mean, there's reports out there that said, whenever the Democrats wanted to accomplish something within Citizenship and Immigration Services, they knew that Alejandro Mayorkas was going to be there for them. Right. And so then, and of course, that's what happens. An administration comes in, you try to get like-minded people on board, like for instance Tom Homan, right. Under Trump, who was the boss over at ICE. I mean, that man executed the law.
Yes.
When he was at ICE.
Right.
And so that's what happens.
And stood up to the administration.
And then he stood up. Yeah. Whenever Trump was out, and you know, it's part of the thing, bro. That well, that we need to think through our candidates, man. We need to
Right.
research them, and when you go vote, you voted for the person that is most closely aligns with your values. And look, they're not going to be 100% on board with everything the way you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when they're 99.9% contrary to what you,
Yeah.
for the reason that you voted them in there, I mean, you got to get them out, man.
You gotta get them
You
out,
got to
man.
get them out.
And now's the time to get them out. Right now, we're choosing our champions per se that are gonna go into the November election, and are gonna fight for us. You know, in November. As for me, I'm going around that process. There's a reason I did that. It's a legitimate process. It's on the books. It's allowed under the law. But I wasn't going to waste my time dealing with Tony Gonzalez Manny in the
Right.
primary, because I knew that yeah, hey, I win, I come out, okay, great. But what if he wins? And then what? Hold your nose again and
Right.
go vote for an America destroying liberal infiltrator
Right.
George Soros puppet?
Right.
Heck no, bro. I'm here to give Texans a choice in November.
That's good. I always tell folks, just simply because they have a R next to their name, Republican, doesn't necessarily
could
mean
be
that-
Rhino
It could be
Republican.
Rhino Republican, right? And so that's why you have to vet your candidate. And Frank and I always encourage people as well that if you're going to donate to a candidate, donate directly to the
Directly to
candidate. Frank, you got a website, that's up right now. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Thank you, Manny.
Frank,
Appreciate that.
yeah, Frank4CD23.com. You can go over there, check out what he's about. He has a little tab on there why he's running as well, and you can get information about why he is running here if you're in District 23. And I'm going to throw this out there as well. If you're in Senate District 24, Raul Reyes is running, for office over there as well. True conservative. He's running against Pete Flores.
Against Pete Flores, a
Right.
former, he was actually a senator down here in District 19. He was our senator, and the legislators in Austin gerrymandered the District 24, and they made a little colita, a little tail that goes into Atascosa County, so that he would be their boy. He would be their anointed in the state legislature.
That's what I was talking about, the redistricting earlier.
Yeah.
About bringing Pete Flores in there. We also got some great conservatives running for governor. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West.
Yes.
We got Dunn Hoffines. Pray there as well. Running for office. We also have some people running for commissioner as well. Texas State Land Commissioner, right?
Yeah, land commissioner. That was John Spires came down. We interviewed Victor Avillon here, and let's not forget a lieutenant governor race, man. We had
yes, yeah.
we had Tracy Bradford
Tracy
sitting
Bradford,
right here,
right.
and then Tracy and her crew. We went out. We had a very good time on the river, showing her around.
And she had a little experience of what it's like to live here, right?
She had a bit of an experience that we citizens down here sadly have to deal way too much with, which is the heavy paramilitarized presence here in the border regions. But Tracy Bradford is running for lieutenant governor. I would strongly encourage you to vote for her.
Yeah, very. I really appreciate the way she handles herself and the ideas that she has for Lieutenant Governor of Texas as well. We got Julie Clark, right?
She's in Medina County.
Medina County as well. We were talking with her down here as well. So if you're in Medina County, look her up and vet that candidate as well. Folks,
a lot of good people.
A lot of good people that are running. Make sure they're true conservatives, American conservatives true conservatives that love America, that love Texas, that love their community. We got some prior Border Patrol agents that are running for office as well. Retired Border Patrol agents that are running for office as well in different areas. Folks, it's time to wake up. It's time to take our stand, and to make our nation right again.
Yeah, to make our nation great again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because, bro, I used to love to cook out steaks on the weekends, man, and, man, the price of food, and I look at the basket every time I go to the grocery store. And,
Oh my gosh, dude! I feel like I'm buying filet mignon every
yeah,
week.
man, I just can't help but wonder, for the folks that are working hard, that fall in the middle there, they're not able to spend as much money, man.
Yeah.
The middle class in America is shrinking, and it's by design, man.
Yeah.
It is by design. The more people that can be dependent on government is the more people that can be controlled by government.
Right.
And so let's not forget what made America great, that an entrepreneurial spirit, the pioneer spirit that intrepid spirit that looks over the horizon and says, "What's over there? I'm going to go explore, and I'm going to conquer,
Right.
and I'm going to do something." Hey, that was given to us by God.
Right, that was the natural human inclination, and that's what made America great, regardless of yeah. I mean, honestly, regardless of where they were at, they decided, to go and explore, and to further this nation. Now, I'm not gonna sit and say that there wasn't some bad experiences, there wasn't some bad history that came about. But the reality is, America is the greatest country in the free world. That's why people are pouring in here every single day. We don't see other people. You don't see Americans pouring into other countries, right? Even those who promised
Canadians
to
are coming
right.
over.
Even those who promised to leave, right, when Trump got into office, and they're
Yeah.
still here. But anyway, folks, we got to close up. Don't forget to visit our website as well. Tacoboutlive.com. We stream on there as well. You can go listen to our podcast, which is going to be on later, so you can share it as well. Go to our Facebook page. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook, and then we'll be on Amazon Music as well, Spotify, and then of course Podbean. So we just want to say thank you so much. For you got any closing words?
Yeah, I got some closing words real quick, folks. Look, there's candidates out there right now that are running. They are fighting hard for you. They're running because they see what needs to take place. We need warriors in the arena. We need warriors in the county level, city level, warriors in the state legislature, and up into the halls of Congress and beyond. Look, they need your help. Don't sit on the sidelines and just watch and cheer them on. They need volunteers. They
Right.
need people to put in their time. They need people to put in their treasure. I know times are hard. I know times are lean, folks. But we're not asking for your life savings here. But these candidates do need donations to keep gas in the tank so that they can go out and visit with people and get their message out. And if anything, share their social media, spread the word about them.
Right.
The good ones, spread the word about them and get the word out.
Yep.
And come March 2nd, I'm going to I'm already on the road, but I'm going to specifically be gathering signatures of persons that did not vote in this primary and are registered voters in the district. And I'll be at an event with our buddy Gil Maza from California.
Hey, all right.
Old Patrol headquarters.
Yeah, actually, my wife and I decided we're gonna go be over there as well. So
Awesome,
yeah.
bro.
So we'll join you guys.
Go see us. We're gonna be what is that? Concan, right?
Yeah, in Concan.
The Frio Fest.
The Frio Fest.
The first weekend in March, 4th and 5th. There's gonna be some live music. It's one of those things where these teams can compete. There'll be grilling, chilling. It's a competition. It's a sanctioned competition, actually. So there'll be awards and stuff.
Right.
And I'll be setting up my tent out there, and I'll have my tables, and I'll be gathering signatures. But it's gonna be a great time. For the mean green to get together with the new green.
Yeah.
With our fellow agents
Yeah.
and the
I just can't move. I
retirees.
can't move as fast as the new green anymore. So, but it's still, I bleed green. So if you cut me, I'm gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna bleed green. And speaking of Gil, I want to just give a real quick shout out. He's been supporting us as well. Old Patrol headquarters.
Gil Maza.
Thank you for letting us broadcast on that page. Let's talk about it live. And so for those of you, former agents or current agents that are watching, don't be afraid. Hopefully, because he's actually getting outlawed in all 20 sectors. Right now in Old Patrol headquarters. But continue to support pages like that and continue to get the voice out to support our green line.
Yeah. Look, hey, folks. We love Texas. We love America. What we're doing here is we're a couple of salty border patrol agents here who retired and saw that even though our military service was up, our time on the front lines on the borders was up, America still needs her sons and daughters. Texas still needs its brave warriors to be ready. In whatever capacity, in whatever arena. Look, if we got to get into politics, we'll get into politics. If we got to be influencers out there, we got to be activists out there. We're going to do what needs to be done. This is our home. The line is drawn here. And what needs to take place, look, a lot of folks have been talking about this Canadians and stuff, the truckers out there.
Yeah.
And people, rightfully so, I see it, bro. They're saying, well, what about America? What about our borders?
Bring all those truckers to the border, man. Shut down the border.
We've got a process, folks. We got a process guaranteed under the First Amendment. Part of it for some is running for office. Virgil Armstrong, we had him right here. He's running for mayor. There's
Retired
other
Border
people.
Patrol agent. He's a retired Border Patrol agent.
There's people that are running. That's for some. For others, it's to be out there spreading the word. And for others, it's to be organizing rallies, exercising our First Amendment right to
Amen.
peacefully assemble and let our employees know that we're tired. We're tired and we're holding them accountable. We're holding their feet to the fire and we're coming after you. We're going to fire you. If you've been a flop, if you've been a failure, you're fired.
Right. Amen. Good words, Frank. I want to thank you so much for joining us. This morning, Talk About It Live with Frankie Manny. God willing, we'll be here next week, 8 a.m. Taco Tuesday. Talk About It Live. We got some more to talk about. Hopefully, get some more guests up on here as well to talk to. So we want to say God bless you, God bless America, and God bless Texas.